WWE hit me up like, Drewski, we need you. I said, say less. Because this is not just another weekend. This is the first two-night Summerslam at MetLife Stadium, baby.
You can feel it in the air. Something's going down.
And you know what that means. This right here, this is where the magic happens. Where bodies fly, belts get raised, and memes get made. I'm talking clips that hijack your feed type moment.
Are you actually good?
That group chat rewind the clip 20 times type moment. Every SummerSlam, somebody does something so wild, so unexpected, so legendary.
Water my biscuit!
The world got to stop and say, yup, he's him. So who's it gonna be tonight? Cody, Roman, Rhea, Logan. Could be me. I stay around the action.
Hell, you know what time it is?
Because this ain't just about titles and trash talk.
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
It's about moments.
The only way to really become the future, become who you think you are, is by capturing the moment.
Moments that give you chills. Moments that break the internet. Moments that make you say, oh my God! So wherever you watching from,
Oh my God, what a promo.
get up, lock in. The SummerSlam
Oh, what a beautiful day it is.
is about to go crazy.
And of course, we know what time it is.
World titles on the line. Everybody bringing their best stuff.
Roll taking their career to new heights imminently.
At SummerSlam, I get the ball back. You want a moment? Let's go. Make one.
And now, Chase Freedom, Minute Maid, and Wingstop present WWE SummerSlam.
And you are looking live at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Over 50,000 WWE fans are expected tonight for the 38th annual SummerSlam.
Hey, this is WWE and ECW alumni, the Blue Meanie, and you're listening to PCW.
The question is, are you ready? Let me talk to you. I will give you a show like you have never, ever seen before. Why? Because I can. What do you guys want to talk about? I am that damn good.
I am the B-E-S-T.
In the color red, in a world full of black and white. I am the eater of worlds. Yeah, if you're some acknowledge me. The champ is here. But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. Hey, yo. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of PCW Podcast Championship Wrestling. I am your host, Wayne, also known as Semi-Dry Chicken, and we got through night one of SummerSlam. and we are going to revisit it, but not alone, because I can never do these alone. Let me bring in my co-host. Let's get this party started.
It's on me now, Oos. Hey, I'ma get them all. I'ma get them all, Oos. Yeah. I'ma get them. I'ma get them.
Welcome back, Oos.
Yo, what it do, PCW crew? Main event Dre Uso is back again on your podcast.
Too nice, SummerSlam. It felt a little bit like WrestleMania, didn't it?
In a certain way of speaking, you could say that.
Yeah, it had its vibes.
I don't know if that would be for the best. I don't know if it's in the most positive way of speaking, but yes, it did feel like WrestleMania a bit.
Yeah, it felt just as exhausting as much to watch. I mean, we didn't have a Hall of Fame to deal with. We didn't have an NXT PLE to also watch. But nonetheless, WWE is exhausting. With that said, let's bring him out.
You better watch out. Watch out. I'm coming! This is your last warning. You better watch out. This is your last chance. I'm coming!
Caution, Doyle.
Oh, it's me. It's a Doyle. Caution is a word that I can't understand. Oh yeah. So the last couple times I've been on, I have forgotten to tell you guys this big announcement that I've been sitting on for a while. And I just want to start the show off by spitting it out there, letting the world know. I think you're going to think it's pretty cool.
What's that?
I am Peloton friends with Sheamus now.
You're what?
I'm friends on Peloton with Sheamus.
No shit.
It means I can see his workouts. He could see mine if he so chooses to. I don't know that he has chosen to. But I could compare and contrast how I did the same course to the Celtic Warriors if I were to choose to do so.
Right.
I have not, but that's beside the point. So I'm just one step away from Sheamus.
So does that mean that Sheamus is going to have a new YouTube channel series going soon? Celtic Warrior Cycling?
We're competing against me. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So when's he coming on the pod?
So how'd you come across the idea of doing this?
I don't remember. It was so long ago. I think he put a thing on Instaface that said, "Hey, follow me on Peloton." So I did.
Okay, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Literally, I follow one person, and it's Sheamus.
Nice.
Sometimes it's just that simple.
Yeah, sometimes that's all the motivation you need every day. It's just like, man, I'm just jacked as Sheamus if I won. And you know what, though? I guess his workout, does work, because that man, when he came back early, we even talked about it. He got kind of hassled about how much weight he had on, and he was a little thick. But then, Sheamus went away for, a few weeks, came back, ripped the shit. So whatever he's doing, it's working.
Yeah, I think the story there was they had told him, be ready, whenever. And then they called him about 2 months earlier than that. And they're like, hey, can you be here Monday?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't blame the guy. It must be so difficult to to get to look like that, but to maintain that while you're on the road and traveling so much, it's 3 a.m. sometimes. It's hard to find a grilled chicken breast. You know what I mean? And it's real easy to find a Waffle House.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Hey guys.
So, I think that just adds a whole other layer of difficulty to not being a fat slob.
Well, with that said, guys, I got some news for you. Let's play the news bumper.
Uh-oh.
Big news.
News team, assemble!
I've got news for you.
Well, I got news for you.
Newsflash, asshole!
As of this morning, breaking news, WWE Premium Live events are heading to ESPN platforms in the United States starting in 2026. At a price point of $29.99. I'll tell you what, I have not seen one positive response about this. This isn't like...
It didn't come out of the mouth of somebody with WWE, ESPN, or TKO.
Yeah.
Well,
like...
there's just a lot we don't know yet.
Yeah.
And a lot of rumors still swirling about this and that. The main one, I think, is that if you already have a cable subscription and you get ESPN, apparently you're going to be able to access these pay-per-views without paying the $30 extra a month. But nobody's 100% sure if that's true or not. If it is, I'm in the clear. I'm fine. But I guess a lot of cord cutters on it. So it's still a clusterfuck. But we got 5 months to get it sorted. So hopefully, closer to the turn of the year, we'll know a lot more.
Right. I mean, it's just insane. Somebody like me who doesn't have Disney Plus, I don't have Hulu. I don't have that stuff because I'm just not interested. There's just nothing on there right now for me. But does that mean if I have to get the ESPN app separately, is that $30 a month just for that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not even that. It's just you got to have access to USA to watch SmackDown. You got to have access to the CW to watch NXT. You got to have access to Netflix to watch Raw. You got to have access to Peacock, and then going forward, this ESPN thing to watch PLEs. It's. I mean, in sports, they're getting the same way. To watch the NFL, you got to subscribe to Amazon, and you have to subscribe to this and that, and you have to subscribe. It's fucking ridiculous.
And I had this issue with hockey at one point. I used to love watching the Flyers, just hockey in general. But it became, once streaming apps started happening, it became more and more difficult for me to catch every game because I couldn't just catch it on Sling TV or just regular cable. I would have to, certain games I would have to download another app or subscribe to an NHL app or, the ESPN app or something. I could never just get every game in one area. And it pissed me off because it's this is my team and they play an hour from my fucking house, but yet I can't watch it without subscribing to 3 different apps. And then I just stopped watching hockey because it just became too much. I just got tired of having to jump through hoops to watch what I like. And to be honest, I might be on that boat with most people who are just casual watchers. If you're going to make it this hard to access your content, this, it's going to cost me this much a month just to watch, a few hours of wrestling. I don't know if it's even worth it. I've already put my foot down and I'm not downloading a cable app and paying a cable subscription just to watch SmackDown, because you know what I mean. I've been
I mean, if you get Netflix to watch Raw, say you've at least got this whole library of movies and shows and blah blah blah.
Exactly.
With this ESPN deal, if you're not into sports, what the fuck else is there for you? Not much. So that's. I imagine a lot of WWE fans are also fans of actual sports, legitimate sports. But I'm sure there's a not insignificant sector that aren't. You know.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, a lot of families are going to have to make some hard choices here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. See, a lot of fans who are WWE fans, yes, are sports fans, but the biggest problem that ESPN has always had for the longest, and it's been the struggle with their ESPN Plus app and stuff like that, is it doesn't always carry the sports people want to see. That's the problem. Like, ESPN has tons of content, but you know what? The stuff that people actually want to see, you don't need ESPN Plus for it. It's not like there are games exclusive. Like, for example, ESPN has the NBA contract where they have NBA games on, I think, Wednesdays and Fridays. That shit is on regular ass ESPN. You don't need ESPN Plus for it. So, and there's Monday Night Football is on regular ass ESPN. You don't need ESPN Plus for it. All the stuff that people tune into ESPN to watch, you don't need ESPN Plus for it. And so with this new streaming service that they're launching at a $30 price point, what the fuck is going to be up there that you actually have to turn into that you have to actually go to that streaming service to get, that you cannot get anywhere else? It doesn't make you, like, they keep advertising it as you get access to ESPN's entire library of content. You know where else you get access to ESPN's entire library of content? Fucking Channel 12. ESPN. It's there. When I want to watch it, I turn it on. And I ain't shelling out an extra $30. So, yes, now they're getting WWE PLEs. Okay, that's one thing that this $30 app is going to have to draw people in. UFC stuff, I don't know how well that's worked out. I mean, probably for the most diehard of UFC fans, yes, they may tune in to ESPN Plus and shell out that extra money on top for the pay-per-views every month. But that's a system that they've been in pretty much from the jump with UFC. So they're already accustomed to that process of paying for these things every month. And I'm pretty sure most fans don't buy every single UFC pay-per-view. When the person that they want to fight is fighting or a big fight comes up, those they'll buy. The rest of them, they just skip on. So with this, so how's UFC going to work with this new ESPN platform? Is it going to be just there as part of your $30 subscription? Or is it your $30 plus something on top for that? The thing that they're missing the most in this is the value proposition. And right now, love WWE, but your PLEs are not worth $30 every fucking month. Especially when they've been largely considered to be on the decline this year. They have not been of the same quality in 2025 as they were last year.
And I mean, most of the time they're only getting 4 matches.
Right. 4 to 5 matches for $30 a month. And with y'all's commitment to social media, half the shit is right up online afterwards anyway. You know what the returns and stuff that happened here at SummerSlam, that shit was on YouTube by the end of the night. So
yeah,
again,
and plus you're not going from $10. Yeah, you're not going from $10 to $12. You're going from $10 to $30. Like, that's a fucking big jump.
Yeah,
it's a huge jump, and they're really underestimating that. And ESPN, I think, is over. I don't know that I would say that ESPN is overestimating the value of WWE, but I do think they're overvaluing their own product, and what they have. Unless we find out, well, the product is about to launch this month, so they'll see what the numbers look like between now and the end of the year as far as who's shelling out $30 for this product. And if the numbers is looking relatively weak, they may have to readjust. They may have to adjust their price point. They may have to come up with some tier plans, or who knows? They're going to have to figure out something. But I don't think this is going to work out in the way that they think it is. And Nick Khan is apparently convinced that fans will move from Peacock to ESPN. I just found a statement that he gave earlier, I'm assuming today with this news reveal, but I'm going to read his quote from him about, will WWE fans move from Peacock to ESPN? Nick Khan says, quote, will the subs follow the product to whatever that new platform is? I think we've demonstrated to Peacock our subs will follow. They certainly all followed from the WWE network, and that expanded that subscribership extensively with Peacock. And there's obviously another product at Peacock to watch, which our fans who subscribe primarily to us were able to sample. Same will be the case with ESPN. That statement was from Nick Khan. That statement, I think, is very detached from reality and is willfully ignorant of a lot of factors that played into it. Namely, one, people, when they went from WWE Network to Peacock, a lot of them were going from a $9.99 subscription at WWE Network to a $5 subscription at Peacock. So they were actually saving money.
Yeah, I mean, and then before that, you're selling out $40 a month for the pay-per-view, you know?
Right.
And then it went down, and then it went down again.
Right.
And then it went through the roof.
Like, I don't know what type of analytics they're looking at. Are they just looking at the numbers? Are they looking at what tier everybody subscribed at? Because I'm pretty sure the overwhelming majority of people who are subscribed to Peacock subscribed at the lowest tier just to get access to the stuff. Not everybody's going to subscribe is going to pay for the highest tier just to eliminate commercials or whatever other extra stuff is there. They're at the lowest tier. So you're asking those same people who were at a $5 tier to now suddenly jump to a $30 price point. For what?
Yeah, I mean, there's
what?
I mean, look, when I went to Peacock, I was not happy that, you know, the WWE Network got, you know, basically sold off. I wasn't happy about that at all because I was content paying $9.99 a month for what content I got on WWE, like the app. That was it. I knew I was getting strictly just wrestling. That's it. When I went to Peacock, okay, like there was some stuff on there. Like even now, like I go on, I watch like the Ted TV show. I watch Twisted Metal. So like there's a few things on Peacock I watch, Modern Family, whatever. But yeah, dude, like for somebody like me who doesn't watch anything but wrestling now, like if I don't know when I'm gonna watch, you know, I'm gonna be watching that once a month. That's about it. $30. I can't do it. I just can't. I just can't justify it because like all these other streaming apps that we have, like Apple TV, Disney Plus, Hulu, you know, HBO Max, whatever. Like none of them, those prices come anywhere close to that. You know, like $30, and look how much they have to offer the library, and I won't even pay that. I mean, like I like Disney. Don't get me wrong, I like Disney Plus, but right now, I'm what they call a churner. Like, you know, when there's something good on, then I'll subscribe for like a month or two, binge watch, and I'll get the hell out of there. I don't sign long-term contracts. And I know they hate people like me. That's why they're doing these bundles. But I don't know, man. Like I'm not gonna be the only one who's gonna, you know, stand on this and be like, you know what, I don't think I'm going to keep going. I don't think I'm going to continue. Like, it's ridiculous. Like Doyle said, like all the outlets we have to go to watch wrestling now. I mean, I dream of a day where everything's on one fucking app. I dream of a day, you know. I also wonder if there was ever talk at one point in renegotiating their Peacock deal. Or maybe, like, even, you know, another, like, maybe Netflix or somebody picking them up. But I guess ESPN got rightfully so, I guess. The deal is, like, what was it, like 1 point something billion?
My guess, yeah, that's my guess is that's how ESPN landed the deal. They threw out the B word. I believe it's a 5-year deal. I forgot how much it is per year, but I think the total over 5 years is, like, $1.6 billion.
I think that's right.
Over 5 years. That's how they landed them. They shelled out a big
Yeah, I mean, you pay the most. That's how you land a contract.
Exactly. And, you know, ESPN is clearly going all in on sports because they haven't just done this thing with WWE. They also have purchased They have a deal going with the NFL right now where they've acquired Red Zone and I believe NFL Network as well in exchange for the NFL getting an ownership stake within ESPN. So, I mean, ESPN has made a lot of big moves within the last couple of months or so in preparation for launching this $30 streaming service. But
they've been in bed with UFC.
Yeah, they've had the UFC thing, but we still don't know how that's going to be structured under this new streaming service. We don't know.
It's not like a shock because they've had this relationship.
Yeah, I mean they've had the business relationship with just UFC, but we see what that services look like with ESPN Plus. You pay for ESPN Plus, and then you pay again to actually watch the pay-per-views. So how is that going? So it's a pay on top of a pay, which I imagine only, like I said earlier, only the most diehard of UFC fans I think are paying that. So now we'll see what it looks like under this new $30 streaming service. Is it because if I was a UFC fan and y'all want me to shell out these $30, them fucking pay-per-views better be included.
Yeah,
right. You better not ask me for a goddamn penny on top of them $30.
Well,
maybe if I was to play devil's advocate a little bit, maybe if they include the UFC pay-per-views at the $30 price point and the every WWE PLE stuff at that price point, and maybe at that you also get NFL Network and NFL Red Zone. Then you're starting to add some value to this streaming service. Yes, for the real diehard sports fan who's into all of those things. Then you're starting to get some value proposition. But individual...
You are. I mean, like, not everybody is. You are.
Right. I'm not saying me specifically. I'm saying you as in a generic sense. There's the WWE, that ESPN is creating some value in their product if there are these number of things. But that, like you said, that assumes that everybody who's subscribed wants those things.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously, they're appealing to a very
significant amount of people that don't.
Right. They're inherently appealing to a very niche audience, and that's sports fans. There are people who like sports. There are people who watch sports. But who out there loves sports enough to shell out $30 a month for what you're offering on your streaming service?
Right.
That's the question. And now, I can only list those four things that they have potentially to offer at that $30 price point.
Right.
Every WWE PLE, every UFC pay-per-view, NFL Network, and NFL Red Zone.
Well, here's something that might leave a bad taste in all your mouths. You could just, pay up front, for a year if you like. Just pay up front for your ESPN, $360. That doesn't sound bad, right? $360
$360
right up front
for what, a year?
For a year for ESPN Plus.
That's like a third of the price of paying it monthly.
Yeah. Or
not a bad value proposition when you look at it that way. But that's assuming that somebody has $360 to shell out.
Or you can they're signing a 5-year deal, right? ESPN Plus can get up to $1,800 from you in that 5-year deal. That's a rough number. $1,800 in whole. That's how much ESPN Plus could be making from us WWE fans in that 5 years.
Well, look, I don't want to talk about how much money I've given Google over the last couple of years between YouTube TV.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's when you really look at the numbers like that and bigger picture, it's kind of disgusting. I don't know how much you guys all spend on your streaming networks, but when you're sitting there and you add them up, and then you add up how much you spend in a month and then a year, it's like holy shit. And it's like we're going back to we might all have to get cable again. But
no, cable's never coming.
Yes, get cable. Get cable.
Cable is never coming back.
No, never coming back.
We have long passed that point of no return.
Mm-hmm.
It's not coming back just from the simple content perspective. And even if those of us are shelling out maybe more money now than we ever did with cable, we are getting way more content than cable could ever offer, and we have way more flexibility than cable can ever afford you.
Mm-hmm.
Those two things alone, I think at this point most people have made the choice that they justify the potential extra money that some people may be spending, or the comparable money to cable that people are spending. I know I have, and I am somebody who definitely is probably spending more money on streaming now than I ever did with cable. But at the same time, I am the one paying for the family's entertainment. You know, it's not just me that's on my subscriptions. It's me, my mother, my sister, my niece and her kids. So, you know, everybody's on mine. You know, if it was just me, I could easily think of probably maybe 3 or 4 streaming services that I would have cut, or I would have gone to the route that you're on with, Wayne, where you pick them up for a little while, watch what you want to watch, then drop them.
Well, you might not want to say that publicly. They'll put an end to that password sharing right quick if they catch you. They've probably been looking for you.
No, they ain't done shit to me yet. I ain't worried about them.
What's it gonna get down to? Like, we'll get ESPN Plus and we'll just split it between the 3 of us. You know. There you go, $9.99 again. It's fucking bananas, man. As soon as I saw that, like, I just read. I went right to the comments, section. Just everybody just fuming, just pissed.
Well, like I said, there's a lot we don't know yet.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some backlash that they're going to be dealing with, and they're going to release something, and something's going to change. I agree, Doyle. We're not out the fire yet.
No, they got 4 months to figure out how they're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to gauge, obviously they're going to gauge people's reactions. Whether that has any influence or impact or anything, obviously is TBD. But I'm pretty sure they have, been seeing people's reaction online and seeing it's being overwhelmingly negative.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the streaming service is launching well before the WWE content arrives. So they'll have at least 3 or 4 months of numbers and analytics to look at to see who's jumping on with this shit. Like, especially with football season. Because right now, between now and the end of the year, that's going to be their main selling point probably for the service, is whatever is on that streaming service connected with the NFL, which in this country is still king. So if the NFL and whatever they're offering on ESPN through the NFL, throughout the NFL season doesn't bring in strong numbers, they may have to rethink their strategy before WWE even comes on board with their content. Well, like I said, it's 4 months to go. It's a lot that can change potentially between now and then. We'll see.
Sweet. All right, man.
All I know is I am prepared to raise the banners and the sails if need be.
I thought about that today. I was like, man, if they just outpriced me, like, what would my life be like without wrestling? Like, what the hell would I do with my time? I was like, I don't know yet.
There was a time where we all sailed the high seas of the internet.
Uh-huh.
Living that pirate life.
Yup.
Said I didn't want to be that person no more, and that I wanted to genuinely support the things that I love. But everything has its limit.
Yep.
If they keep pushing too hard and they keep reaching too deep in people's pockets, I ain't got no problem going back.
Well, yo ho ho and a bottle of rum.
Exactly.
I remember those days. All right, man. Let's get into this PLE night 1. MetLife Stadium, night 1, 53,161 people. I'll tell you what, I think the arena looked pretty cool. I I definitely got like WrestleMania 40 vibes a little. Just the way the arena was set up with the being open like that at MetLife. So I thought it looked pretty cool. I think they had it looked like they had better Titantron setup than we did. It looks like there's a couple more around the arena.
Yeah, they had a cool stage.
Yeah, I thought. Well, yeah,
isn't
nice.
MetLife is newer than the Link, right?
Right. I think so. Yes.
I want to say
because
about
a decade.
Yeah, I say the Link was built in like 1996 or 97 or something like that, late 90s.
Oh, a little later than that. Yeah, it was like the early aughts.
For the Link?
Yeah.
Okay, you might be right.
And the MetLife, I think, was 2010, thereabouts. So they're about a decade apart.
MetLife was between 2008 and 2010, and yeah, the Link was late 90s, early 2000s, something like that.
But I mean, speaking of WrestleMania, they had significantly more people there for WrestleMania. What was it, 35? Than they did for SummerSlam.
Oh, really?
For whatever that's worth.
Right.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had around 70,000.
Yeah, there were definitely significant portions of this stadium that were taped off.
Yes.
And they did not do as good a job of concealing it as they have in the past.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, Dre, you want to take the reins?
Yeah, we might as well go ahead and jump on into the first match, kicking off the show, which was Roman Reigns and Jey Uso facing Braun Breaker.
Before that.
Well, go ahead.
Is Cardi B a native English speaker?
A native English speaker?
Yes. Because I want to subtitle. What the hell was she doing there? What was she talking about? Who decided throwing her out there was a good idea? Did she bring anything at all to the weekend?
No.
She what was the point?
Name, just a name, and WWE really needs to get away from that. They need to get away from having names just for the sake of having a name.
I get the logic of having a name, but why not someone that can contribute in some form or fashion? I don't think Cardi B brought anything whatsoever to the table.
Nothing.
And then we didn't see her really again at all. The host of SummerSlam, right? They spent months and months. Cardi B's the host. And then it felt like 2-3 weeks before that, they didn't say a word about her. And then she just came out, screamed and yelled a little bit, and then that was about it. Right?
Yeah, my fucking ears.
What the hell was the point of that?
Nothing. Just for the sake of having a name. And like I said, I think they really do need to reevaluate some of these celebrities that they bring in, because some of them, like you said, are not bringing anything noteworthy to the table. I don't know that Cardi B brought anything to the WWE or any eyes to WWE that weren't already going to tune in. All we got from her was one commercial that aired for a few months, a little bit of back and forth on Twitter between her and a few of the wrestlers, and then she shows up night one, clearly reads from a teleprompter, and then leaves, and we never see her again. Didn't even show up at all for night two.
Without getting too ahead of myself, I have very little good things to say about Jelly Roll, but you know what? He at least looked like he gave a shit. He was trying. I think, at least contributed in some form or fashion to the program in a way that Cardi B did not.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Not valid, because he's the type of celebrity that they should be embracing and bringing into their product. People who are genuine fans, who are genuinely into it. Not every person has to wrestle a match or go as far as he did, but at least people who are genuine wrestling fans and understand the crowd, the people, the environment. Not somebody who's just there just because either WWE is popular now and they want to attach their name to the product and bleach a little bit off of WWE's fame, or give the rub to WWE or whatever it is. But there are enough fans out there, or enough celebrities out there who are genuine wrestling fans that they could bring in that could mean something. I mean, hell, we just had Raw this past Monday in Brooklyn, and you had genuine wrestling fans who were there, celebrities. Method Man was there. He's a genuine wrestling fan. You can look it up. He's been at multiple events in the past. You know, Joe Budden, I'm assuming he's a genuine wrestling fan. People like Metro Boomin, like there are other celebrities you can reach out to and bring in if you want to, you know, tie that, you know, WWE product with celebrity fame and that and such. You don't have to go reaching out for somebody who probably doesn't give two shits about it, only there because y'all cut them a check, and they're gonna probably.
Yeah, I mean, you think they would have learned from the Guest Raw general manager days, right? When like some of the people came and like were really into it and they were fun, and some of the people couldn't have given less a fuck, you know. And those shows were fucking disaster. And you think they would have, you know, at some point been like, hey, only get people that are actually going to commit to this, and maybe come to some rehearsals, and maybe, you know, and just somebody that's just going to go out there and squawk and scream and you know, I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about some wrestling.
Right. I love how Doyle just went on this long rant about Cardi B. Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, maybe she misled them. Maybe during the initial conversations, maybe she was, you know, hyped up for it. Maybe she is a wrestling fan or was at some point. And then as things progressed, maybe they just, I don't know, somehow didn't pan out the way they thought. Who knows? But anyway, back to the actual wrestling. First match, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso facing Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Coming out with Roman's Jordans still. I'm glad the Shula Fala. Yeah, I'm glad they held on to that, at least for SummerSlam. I'm glad they continued that. Obviously the match itself took a while to get going, but once it actually did get going, but once it did get going, it was a good match, I think. You know, they were definitely out there brawling, beating the shit out of each other. Again, I think Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, I really think those two could have gone on just by themselves and Paul Heyman and really been a force and a strong team to be reckoned with. Just those two as a faction, both individually and collectively as a team. Because they didn't show any weaknesses or no flaws in this match. Granted, they did take the L, you know, and I'm glad that Jay was the one to actually get the pin, which he got on, Bronson Reed, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he beat Bronson Reed. And there were other elements that were interesting, you know, like Roman, I think a couple of points in this match, making the sacrifice for Jay. You know, most notably at the end of the match where he took the spear from Braun Breaker that was initially meant for Jay, and he took it. So is this Roman leaning a little bit more in the babyface department, or was he just doing it just for family? Who knows? But overall, good match. Very, very good match. Good way to kick off the show. Where you at on this one, Wayne?
Dude, I agree. Great match to kick off the show. I mean, I think maybe it was a little too lengthy. The match was like 21 minutes. But I guess you could really chalk that all up to entrance theme. I mean, the entrance was just long for all these for both nights. Entrances and video packages just filled this it was just filler. I did like how Jay and Roman, their gear kind of matched. You know, they look good with the black and white. I was dying when I heard the Shula Fala reference. I was dying, man. Doyle, you in the Discord had me crying, man. Just with the fucking Shula Fala. I didn't know that Roman Reigns wears like a size 15, dude. Like, I wear a size 13, and I thought I had big ass feet. I was like, holy shit, 15? Those things were huge around his neck. Holy crap. So, yeah, and he also got his ass beat again. And he got, this week, and he got his shoes taken again. Poor Roman. He just can't keep hold of his shoes, man. He's going to come out in flip-flops next week. You know? I enjoyed this match. Of course, you know, I think one of the biggest issues with Jey Uso and his entrance is he comes out, he eats, and he gets kind of gassed, man, before the match starts. And you know, and then during the middle of the match, they start yeeting again in the middle of the match. I come on, man, I'm good. I don't need to be eating during the match. Keep the match going. I get it. Maybe it set them up for him to do a top rope spot. You know, I was really thinking that, you know, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker would have benefited greatly going over, but then how the rest of the night played out, I kind of was okay with it and understood. I mean, it would have been a big win for them, but to beat like two former world champions clean, that would have been tough. But you know, it was a very good match. You know, it shows that, you know, Braun and Bronson can, you know, dance in the ring with Roman and Jey, two former world champions, without Seth Rollins in the picture, and put on a decent match. So I don't think this feud with these four are done after this week. Seeing Roman get beat again, get his ass beat again. So I don't know where we're going with this. Are we adding another Oos? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where we're going with this. But Doyle.
Well,
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fun way to start the show. Dre, you said it, man. Did this start slow? But that's okay for the first match. I just kind of, Wayne, like you said, I thought the heels should have gone over here. And it looks like we're right. It looks like they're writing Roman off of TV for a couple of weeks with that, what did he take? 2-3 tsunamis on Raw. So it's like, why put Roman over if he's just going to disappear again? I thought that the heels really would have benefited. But, what do I know? But yeah, it was a fun match. You got to see some things that guys don't usually do. Roman had that big swan dive over the top rope, but he kind of overshot on his noggin. But yeah, I mean, all four of these guys are incredibly athletic. So it's cool to see them kind of bouncing around off each other. Yeah, I could have done without the mid-match yeet session as well, but that's just me. I'm a little yeeted out, shall we say. But yeah, fun match for sure. Good way to kick things off. But it is strange seeing Roman during the day. I feel like it's been a long, long, long time since we saw Roman in the sunlight. But yeah, good start.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I understand. I get why some people think that Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker should have gone over because, they're the up-and-coming guys. They're the ones that need to look strong. But up against people the caliber of Jey and Roman, it makes sense that they took the L. And I think they protected Roman and Braun Breaker, who are, probably the two highest profile among the ones in this match, by having Jey get the pin. He looked strong over Bronson Reed, who was the one that could, take the pin with minimal impact to him. Roman can't take the pin after what just happened to him and getting his shoes snatched. And on the subject of the shoe snatching thing, I hope they don't run with that too hard. It was a cool moment when it happened. It got everybody talking. I don't think they needed to do it again on Monday Night Raw. And that shouldn't become a thing that I don't know if it's going to work as a thing if they try to turn that into part of Bronson Reed's gimmick. Like he beats people's asses and takes their shoes. Maybe it can work a little bit if he does it to everybody, but everybody ain't out there wrestling in shoes. Some people out there in their wrestling boots and gear. Is he going to snatch their shit too? Maybe it can work to an extent, but I think it'll only work if y'all are planning on pushing him up the card.
I wonder what would happen if he wrestled Kevin Von Erich, who doesn't wear shoes at all.
Or Riddle.
Yeah.
Or Riddle.
But I mean, like, if he's just going to beat people's asses, take their shoes, and then lose matches, you know, they're going to cancel each other out. And there's also...
I think it's probably a Roman-specific thing.
I'm hoping so. Well, I take that back.
What did Heyman call him? The tribal thief? That was pretty
tribal thief. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I don't know if it's a Roman specific thing. Then I think it should stop this Monday. He can't just keep stealing Roman shoes all the time. Eventually, that's going to start to impact Roman. Especially
he can't keep rolling.
Right, he can't just keep losing his damn shoes.
Yeah, he can't keep Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and if they're going to keep it as part of Bronson Reed's thing, then it needs to be something he does to everybody. And I don't know that he can do it to everybody.
I don't think he can. Yeah.
Everybody ain't out there in shoes. Some people are. It's a lot harder trying to take somebody's wrestling boots off than it is Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So if it were up to me, I think this past Monday night on Raw should be the last time he does it, and just leave it there. Find another element or another way to make the feud interesting. Any other thoughts on this initial match?
No. I will mention, though, I don't know if you guys saw in the crowd, we no longer just have a green shirt guy. We also have a yellow shirt guy now.
What?
Yeah, there was a guy with a yellow smiley face shirt in the front row as well. And then I think it was night 2. There was another green shirt guy behind him. So we had 2 green shirt guys and a yellow shirt guy. What is going on?
Yeah. Crazy.
Multiverse is tearing apart at the seams.
Dude, give it like 3 years. It'll be like just the whole front row will be just smiley face shirts, different colors.
Green shirt guy has found his reverse Flash.
Yeah. Oh shit.
No. Apparently those two actually came together. Apparently they know each other and are like friends, and they actually came to the PLE together. I think somebody mentioned it in the Discord, I think they posted a tweet or something from the yellow shirt guy because somebody called out the fact that those two were together. Or that the green shirt guy was like giving the side eye to yellow shirt guy, and I think somebody had tweeted that. I think yellow shirt guy responded and said, "Dude, we literally came here together."
That's funny.
So, moving on to the next match. Match 2 was Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss facing Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. A match that went on for just over 13 minutes and saw the team of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss come out on top to become our new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. In a match that, albeit predictable, was still decent, good enough, and I think got the appropriate amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it needed to be any longer. I don't think it needed to be any shorter. I think it was good. They went out there, did what they had to do, put on a good match, got to the finish, gave us a little bit of suspense in it with what was that? I think Alexa had hit Charlotte at one point during the match, and then we thought Charlotte was going to get her lick back, and then just for Charlotte to take out Raquel, allowing Alexa Bliss to get the pin. Like I said, good match. Nothing really, wow, or, super memorable about it, other than maybe that finish. But it was a good match, and I think the right team won. What are your thoughts on this one, Doyle?
I liked it a little more than you did. I really am enjoying Charlotte and Alexa as one of those, like, frenemy tag teams. Which of course it's only a matter of time before somebody turns on somebody, but that'll be fun to see whenever it happens. Yeah, I like their back and forth, kind of interplay. With Alexa accidentally hitting Charlotte, and then Charlotte ends up saving her at the end. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And Roxanne's fucking great. She's a future main eventer, probably for the rest of the decade. And I really like Raquel. Raquel's doing some of the best work of her career, I think, during this run to Judgment Day. I've been hoping for her to get something more interesting to do than she had been before her weird skin thing she had that had her out for a while. I'm glad she gave up the flexing the back routine thing. That just wasn't working for her. But I've always liked her. I don't know why. I don't know that she does anything spectacularly well or anything, but something about her I've always liked. So I'm glad to see her doing well. I think she's doing the best work of her career. I thought this was a lot of fun. And of course, Charlotte and Alexa winning is the right call, I think. Who knows what the ever ongoing Judgment Day saga will continue. And so will Charlotte and Alexa's, will they, won't they come to blows with each other kind of relationship. I'm excited to see where it goes.
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I like the pairing of Charlotte and Alexa. Like I said in our preview episode, this is the most likable that I think Charlotte Flair has been in a long time.
Maybe ever.
Right. She, like, between this and some of the more new vulnerability that she's shown in, certain interviews and stuff like that that's found its way online, it's made her a much more likable and a much more relatable person. So, yeah,
agreed.
That and Alexa Bliss just has personality and charisma for days, like effortless. So it makes for an excellent pairing between those two. Although I will say this past Monday on Raw, when they were out in the ring together and had to cut a promo live in front of the crowd, did not quite come off as well as some of their backstage segments have gone off. But again, they haven't had to cut too many promos in front of everybody together. So maybe that will get better over time as they, this dynamic develops further. But that's like a minor nitpick.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I'm still happy with both of them and where they're at with it. Where you at on this match, Wayne?
You know what? This is like another tag team pairing that, it's very odd, but I'm starting to like it. And I think it's getting Charlotte over, with the help of Alexa Bliss, with her popularity. It reminds me a lot of Orton and Matt Riddle. I get a lot of vibes like that, like this tag team we don't think is going to work together, and then they kind of vibe well, and the crowd likes it, and it benefits both of them, and it definitely spices up the women's tag division. I mean, right now it's great. You're keeping these two out of the main event, and we're going to help elevate the women's tag titles. I just hope none of them get injured, because that's just the curse with these titles.
The curse.
Yeah, dude, like the curse. I was like, fingers crossed nobody gets hurt. The two really good wrestlers to have these, to be in the hands of. I didn't think that it would help Charlotte get over. I mean, she just seemed like naturally an unlikable character. Like no matter what, she was just gonna get booed. But it seems more and more she's getting cheered. And I think that's awesome. I agree, Dre. The false finish at the end was pretty good. Because kind of curious if things would have fallen apart if they didn't get the titles, on that night. With Alexa and Charlotte accidentally knocking each other out or something like that. You know, I definitely thought for sure. And the way they panned the camera was great work, too. Making it look like Charlotte was going to big boot her or something. And, you know, you couldn't quite make out what she said. And, you know, the fact that she kind of, like, saved her ass, you know, and made that pin. And we got the Sister Abigail to end it out of all finishers. So, I don't know where they go from here. Who's next on the tag team chopping block? But now we know with these tag titles off of Judgment Day, if Liv comes back anytime soon, I could definitely see an issue there. Like, you know, where's the tag titles? Oh, we lost them. Who lost them? Well, technically, I didn't get pinned. You know, I don't know. So we're gonna get. I also feel like there's gonna be some waves from that too. So Judgment Day is gonna feel that. But overall,
potentially,
it was
assuming
good match.
Yeah, potentially assuming Liv gives a shit about those tag team titles when she comes back.
Right.
Yeah, does. I mean, who knows when she comes back? The story might be, you know, long done by then. Yeah. Which might be good for her, actually. You know, if she can come back to a totally fresh start, you know.
And I will say, I do like that Alexa Bliss has been the one getting the pin or getting the win for the team in the last couple of matches because, quite frankly, she's probably got one of the best finishers in the women's division with that Sister Abigail. And it's not like the move is particularly devastating or anything. I mean, it does, from an Impact standpoint, look pretty tough. But it's more so, it's the setup. It's the fact that she can sit there and be smiling or whatever and just look as pretty as she wants to. But the second she gets that move, her whole face changes. And I think that's what sells the move more than anything. She gets that.
A lot of finishers you can't see the person doing its face. Well, right. At least not 100% clearly like you can with hers.
Right. Or they're doing something else like being overly emotional about their finisher or whatever. Like if it's somebody like Cody who's acting like this is the heaviest person he's ever lifted up by the back of their neck before he hits his crossroads or whatever. You know, stuff like that. But a finisher that just has a good setup before the impact, been a while since we've had one of those. And yeah, Alexa's got it. Again, without being over the top, it's just she gets that evil, demonic look on her face, and then everybody rises to their feet, and then boom, she just hits it. And I think it was pretty dope how she did it this Monday too. Catching who they have the match with Monday? Damn. They didn't have a rematch with Roxanne and Raquel this past Monday. Who was it that they wrestled? I don't know. Either here nor there. But I remember she caught the person coming off. Yeah. I just remember she caught the person coming off the rope. And the way they set it and the way the shot was, you know, framed, you didn't see Alexa. You just saw that person hit the rope, and as soon as they came off the rope, boom, Alexa just caught him right in the Sister Abigail. So it's a dope finisher. Just wanted to put that out there. Before we talk about this next match, which was totally meaningless.
Oh, let's hear about it.
Huh?
Let's hear about it.
Yeah. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. A singles match where the stipulation was, had Karrion Kross won, Sami Zayn would have to admit that Kross was right about Sami, that Sami is not a good person. In other words, if Kross won, Sami would just have to admit the fucking obvious that everybody with a brain should already know. But if Sami Zayn won, then Karrion Kross would have to admit that he was in fact wrong about Sami Zayn, and that Sami Zayn is in fact a good person, which is a bold-faced goddamn lie. And much to my disappointment, Sami Zayn won this match, leaving Karrion Kross in the ring, looking up at him. We didn't even get the admission.
Yeah, sure.
When the match ended, Sami Zayn just looked back at him and just said, we're done. I'm done. It's over. And Cross was just looking back at him like, yeah, okay. It's like we didn't get the admission there. They weren't. Neither him nor Scarlett were on Raw this past Monday. Apparently, their contracts are set to expire this weekend, according to various outlets. And
but
apparently they have not been offered it. Yeah, I mean, just as things stand now.
Yeah, that's what they want you to think.
Right, as things stand, as of what we know now, which in light of this weekend, we know not to trust a goddamn thing out of WWE. But the way things stand now, as we know it, their contracts are set to expire this weekend. They have not been offered new contracts. We did not get Cross or Scarlett on Raw this past Monday. There was no acknowledgement that Sammy was right or anything. The match happened, and there's been zero payoff to this storyline. So, the fuck was the point of this shit?
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, me too. We're all on the same page here. What was the purpose of this match if we didn't even get the payoff, and then later finding out that all this hard work was kind of I don't know, for this build for Karrion Kross, it seemed like he was slowly getting over, and he was beating Sammy's ass every week on Raw. He may have lost the battle, but I think he's the one who won the war at the end. But now apparently his contract's up and he's done, just like that. I thought he re-signed, to be honest, a while ago when he was having issues, but I guess that was only for a year or temporary. The time just flew that quickly, I guess. We got the Scarlett would toss Cross the pipe, and Sami Zayn was able to avoid it and hit the Blue Thunder Bomb, which, by the way, Blue Thunder Bomb I think should be his finisher. I always thought it was such a cool move for him. He just never makes a pin with it. I
think he's too small for that to be his finisher.
I was surprised he got Karrion Kross up for the Blue Thunder Bomb.
Yeah, that's the thing. The fact that he's even pulling this off on people much larger than him,
right,
is already okay. He's got some sleeper power, and stuff like that. But he doesn't always hit everything clean. What was it? What's the shit he does where he suplexes him into the turnbuckle? The buckle bomb thing
move.
He does.
I hate that fucking
that
move.
shit. He damn. Yeah, but that thing right there was a botch. He damn near put Cross on his neck, and they didn't. Yeah. They weren't close enough to the turnbuckle for it to happen. So
yeah, he does it all the time.
I think he's good where he's at with the hula kick, personally.
But yeah, then he went through the regular finishing sequences. Cross was, distracted, and the haluva kick for the win. Yeah, now, I don't know. Now what? Scarlett looked fucking fantastic, though, I'll tell you that. I guess we can all agree on that, too, right?
Yeah, she looked good as always.
Great eye candy. Hell of an outfit. With all those spikes and shit. You ain't putting your hands on her. But I really don't have much to say about this fucking match. We thought we were going to get... Sami Zayn using the pipe there, and we didn't get that. We didn't get the apology. Sami Zayn won. Cross had to admit that he was wrong about him, and I feel like he said something after he got pinned. But it should have been something kind of similar how to an I Quit is give him the mic, say it. We didn't even get that. Woof.
Nope.
Woof, man.
Nothing. Just Cross laying in the ring, looking up at Sammy, and Sammy walking off.
Yeah. Doyle, what'd you think?
Yeah, in terms of a match, it could have gone either way, and that would have been intriguing if there was any intrigue to be had. Which wasn't. Who gives a shit? Who cared? As far as the contract thing goes, they were promoting his book before the show, and then they put him on, their second biggest show of the year. That tells me that he has a contract. I don't think they would do that if they didn't. But I don't know what the play is for trying to create this contract drama and whatnot. I really don't know where they're going with it. After the show, apparently, fucking Paulie Big Nose was out in front of an audience doing the post show, and the crowd was chanting, "We want Cross, we want Cross," and he goes, "Oh, you can hear him saying." This is after night 2. He's, "Oh, you can hear him saying, 'We want Brock, we want Brock.'" So I don't know if that was a conscious effort to, act like he doesn't hear the fans, or maybe he really didn't hear the fans and it was a bot. I don't know. But I don't think he would have been on the show at all if he wasn't signed going forward. Maybe the play is to keep him out for a couple weeks and then bring him back doing something completely different that has nothing to do with Sami Zayn. And we just never mention any of this ever happened. And move Sami on to something else in the meantime. That might be a good idea. But he's one of those guys that he's like, the idea of Karrion Kross is great. I really like the idea of Karrion Kross, but in practice, it's just something's missing. I don't know what it is, because I think his character is cool. I've often said, like, I think I would have a character similar to his character if I was going to try to come up with my own character, But it's just, I don't know if it's his matches don't work or what. But something's, I mean, he's clearly got something that the audience has latched onto, but there needs to be something past that. And I just don't know what it is or how I can find it.
I think right now fans are more attached to Karrion Kross, the professional wrestler, than Karrion Kross, the WWE superstar.
It's like the idea of Karrion Kross. Mm-hmm. They really like
him. Him as he exists within the industry of professional wrestling, people are attached to. I think people latched onto the guy who has something going, even if everybody doesn't know what it is. The guy that people want to support, but the corporate machine doesn't seem to be backing him, even if he's starting to get something going on his own. Like think about it. He didn't become interesting more so because of what he was doing on camera or what he was doing backstage. He became interesting and got people's attention because of what he was doing online, because he was more or less, quote unquote, breaking kayfabe and venting his genuine frustrations online about the product, and probably echoing a sentiment that a lot of fans were actually feeling. And I think that's where he started to get that connection with the fans, is he was relating to them or connecting with them as fans of the product, wanting to and not being satisfied or happy with what they're being given.
I feel like we've seen this before with guys that get real popular on the internet, but it rarely seems to be able to translate to actual success. Like Matt Cardona, I think, is a great example of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very similar. He, gets himself over. The internet loves him or whatever, but it just never, at least not in WWE anyway.
Because he hasn't been back to WWE as Matt Cardona.
Well, that's also true.
Yeah.
So, before that, he was getting himself over on the internet, before, when he was, what was it, Zack Ryder? So, I mean, he was doing that back then. But he just never could make it happen on the main roster. I mean, he just seems to be doing well in the Indies, so I believe he's the king of the Indies.
Right. And like I said, Karrion Kross, the difference with him is that he's doing this while still being part of the WWE. So he's almost like that, I don't know, that insider type thing, like that. Like if the fans were to have somebody, quote unquote, on the inside, maybe he represents that, and maybe that's why they've latched onto him. Because you can't say it's anything that he's done on camera. Because he ain't done nothing on camera enough to really
very little
warrant that. Other than the interview, which that wasn't even part of the post. That wasn't even the interview he gave after the WrestleMania. That wasn't on WWE show, was it? It was on somebody else's show.
No. Yes. It was on somebody else's show that is WWE affiliated, but it wasn't a WWE production.
Product, right. It wasn't WWE's post show. So
right.
Yeah, that's why I say I think fans are attached to Karrion Kross, the professional wrestler, not so much Karrion Kross, the WWE superstar. He's got, yes, when Kross comes out on WWE, he's getting the cheers, but it's because of who he is or what he's doing outside of WWE more so than what he's doing on their programming. So we'll see.
Right, so something's not clicking
right
somewhere.
yeah. The character that we're getting on television isn't quite matching the person that we're seeing online. And we've seen people have gotten over the best when the person we see on TV reflects a certain measure of who they really are, but just turned up to a certain extent. It feels more real. It feels more natural. Karrion Kross, for all that he's doing, still feels like he's playing a character on television, albeit very, well-developed one, someone he's been doing for a while that he's clearly putting his all into. But how much of this character, Karrion Kross, the black and white, the talking people, backstage, you're not really a good person, Sami Zayn, yada, yada, blah, blah. How much of that is the actual person?
Mm-hmm.
And how much of that is just the character of Karrion Kross? I think that's where some of the disconnect may still exist. But either way, we shall see after this weekend where it all goes. I think we talked about him longer than the actual match itself went on for.
Yeah.
8 minutes and 10 seconds. Yes, we did.
Right. And not a goddamn thing to say about Sami Zayn. Why? Because Sami Zayn's boring as fuck. The only thing I'll say about Sami Zayn is he needs something. Because right now, he is boring.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see him turn heel, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It looks like he's going to do a babyface run for his title.
Yeah, I thought maybe he would have turned heel here, using that pipe. But he's better than that, I guess.
Unless they're using all this "I will be champion" stuff to set up the heel turn, which I guess is possible.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be on TV next week and be like, Sami Zayn, now that you're done with Karrion Kross, what's next for you? It's time for me to focus on me.
I'm going to Disney World.
Right. It's time for me to focus on me. I let Karrion Kross distract me for too long. I need to get back to doing my thing, pursuing my dreams and my goals. And I'm coming after the WWE Championship. Seth Rollins, I'm coming to you. Shut your dumb ass up, Sami Zayn. Get stomped and take a L. That's what's going to happen. So, moving on from that match to match 4 of the night. Tiffany Stratton facing Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship in what was the second shortest match of the night and possibly the most surprising finish of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Stratton fucking won. Retained the title against Jade Cargill. I don't know that none of us picked Tiffy to win, did we?
No,
I don't think so. And quick too. It wasn't even like Jade looks valiant in defeat kind of thing. It was just like, it was just like, holy fuck, it's over? What?
Yeah, and that's my other the match was only 7 minutes, 7 minutes and 5 seconds, so it was even shorter than the Sami Zayn Karrion Kross match. And for the majority of that match, Jade Cargill dominated Tiffany Stratton.
Mm-hmm.
And then all that happened was Tiffany Stratton, I think Jade Cargill missed one move. Tiffany Stratton hit her with something, hit the moonsault, and got the pin.
Right.
Yeah.
That is terrible fucking storytelling in a match, for one. Yeah, that's terrible match storytelling where your champion to get their ass whooped and then hit two moves and get a pin. It makes Jade look like a unworthy title contender that she can be so dominant and then just that two moves she lose. You know, I know that there's been a lot of rumor and talk that WWE have lost faith a bit in in Jade Cargill. That at one point they were looking at her and Rhea Ripley as being the two faces of the women's division moving forward, and now that's no longer the case on Jade Cargill's part. Which, if true, then it's a bit disappointing, and that doesn't bode well for Jade's future prospects. From my perspective, I think Jade Cargill's been improving. She's gotten better. Look at her matches now compared to what they were when she first started with WWE. She looks tangibly better. Are there still mistakes here and there? Yes. Nowhere near as much as they were in the past. Nowhere near as obvious in the past. In fact, in this match, there was a bit of a mistake happen. It was Jade who made the actual save on it, and that's when she hit Jaded and was going for the pin on Tiffy and realized that Tiffany Stratton wasn't close enough to the ropes for her to put her leg in position, and Jade, people interpreted it as a botch, but it was really more so Jade correcting the mistake by putting Tiffany's leg in position to be on the rope. You know, to me, that speaks to her learning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some
I
people.
think that was.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that was as good of or better than a performance that she's had in WWE in the time she's been there. I think.
Mm-hmm.
It did. The only real criticism I would give is that I think I said that she was deliberate. Like you can see the wheels turning. I have to go do this, and I have to go do that. Then she's going to go over there. I'm going to go over here. And we're going to do that. And I think she did get a little better with that. But the whole match kind of felt very careful or very choreographed, maybe even, which is fine. But especially because if you think about it, Tiffany Stratton's green as grass too. You know, she's only been doing this for a couple of years also. So kind of a testament to them both that they're able to get to such a, high mark, high place in the business so quickly. But, maybe that's the answer for Jade is to kind of script her matches a little more than you would to other people, And if that's the cost of doing business and making Jade look good, so be it. I'm obviously not a performer, but as a viewer, I don't have a problem with that. Even if you can kind of see it a tiny bit. Just because I think if you plan it out, she obviously, maybe, although, Dre, you did make up a great point. Her little improvisation there was very good. But I feel like moments like that for her are kind of few and far between. Maybe she is getting it, though. And like I said, she, I think, really is not misses the benefit of the house show circuit. Getting to perform with the same person even, every night in front of an audience, 3-4 times a week or whatever. I think it really hurts a person like her who really, it's all good to go do the moves in the performance center or whatever. It's a total other thing to do it in front of 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, whatever it is, people, than it is to do it in the PC,
Yep, that's a great point you just brought up, and I was going to touch on that because I think it was Roxanne Perez and somebody else in the women's division, WWE, said it this week or recently that I can't remember exactly what they said word for word, but basically said something that WWE needs more house shows because there are certain wrestlers who need those reps that you only get in the house show circuit. by working these matches in front of crowds without the, television cameras on. And some people who don't get, who would greatly benefit from that, aren't getting it. You can only do so much at the PC. You can only do so much on Raw or NXT. And certain stars, once they reach a certain point, you're not going to put them back on, Evolve or something like that to try to get reps in, because that's like a demotion. And the way everything is covered nowadays, people will pick up on that and tear somebody down with it. Mm-hmm. That's where the house shows were beneficial for them. And somebody like a Jade Cargill would probably greatly benefit from being able to work the house show circuit, because she didn't have that in AEW, and she doesn't have it here in WWE. So where is she getting her reps?
How many times has your team drafted a wide receiver and the kid looks great in practice and he catches everything in practice, and they put him in a game and he can't catch a fucking cold, right? And then when that happens, he stops getting his number called, so he's not in the game as much, so he's not getting as much chances to catch a pass, with live NFL defenders. And pretty soon, 2 years later, he's released because he doesn't get those reps, or the guy that, he in batting practice hits home run, he gets up and it's strikeout in the real game. And I kind of feel like I don't think Jade's quite that level, but yeah, she needs those reps and she's just never going to get them, and it kind of sucks for her.
Right, and that's slowing her development. I believe if she were able to get those reps in, she'd probably be much further along than she already is.
Yeah.
Wayne,
agreed.
Hop in here, Wayne. Where you at with this?
Yeah, when I think I agree. This is a outcome nobody saw coming. Like we all pretty much had penciled in, like Jade winning. Per storyline, it made sense. Like we got her this far, Queen of the Ring. You got her all this way to lose. Like I was just so confused. Like don't get me wrong. Like I understand like the streak Tiffy has for this year, being undefeated this year in general. The push that they're giving her is Tiffy the one wrestler that Jade's gonna have coming up in her career that like, you just don't have her number. Charlotte has had a couple women like that where it's just like no matter every time you face them, you just don't have her number, and when you finally do beat her, it really means something. Rhea, I think, had that with Charlotte. Just couldn't beat Charlotte for the longest time, and when she finally did it, it meant a lot, and it was at WrestleMania. So maybe that's what this is. Like Jade just never gets over Tiffy, and one day she does, and I'm sure these two will cross paths again. This match was full of suicide dives and prettiest moonsaults and choke slams and power bombs and falcon arrows. So, I mean, very well played out, move for move. I enjoyed it. I think Jade has some awesome ring gear, like she always does. This one was representing the Jamaican flag, I believe. She always has good cosplay gear. I think one time she did one at Storm, which I thought was fucking awesome. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the match. They had a good 7 minutes to go. You're not looking at like Jade mixing it up with a very experienced wrestler. Like Doyle said, somebody who's just as green. These two are coming up together. I expect more from this feud down the road. Like I definitely see this used in some trash talking later. Like you're one who's just never beaten me, who's just never gotten my number. I am a little confused though. Like where the hell does Jade go now? Yes, Naomi still has the title. brand splits really fucking matter anymore. That's where I naturally thought she would have gone. Did not think that they would get her all the way to Tiffy and then fail. I mean, I thought it would have been cool to have Naomi and Jade Cargill as champions at the same time, and Bianca kind of not having the gold and being able to kind of pick and choose who she wants to go after. But I guess that's not the fucking case anymore. So everything I had idea-wise going for Jade after this, kind of out the window. I kind of don't know where she's going to go from here. I hate saying it, but back of the line, that's normally what happens when you lose these title shots. It's back of the line. You gotta start over. It was kind of fair and square. I mean, even though it was a pretty smooth soul to roll up, that's all I got.
Yeah, well, as far as the whole back of the line thing, it'll be interesting to see how WWE really does play that after this weekend, given that there are 2 women who should be going to the back of the line based upon what happened. We'll see if both of them are treated the same. Mm-hmm. And if both of them do, in fact, get sent to the back of the line. And yeah, where does Jade go from here? Who knows? Maybe she falls back into the mid-card division and works her way up. Sure. I mean, that's a route that we could go down. And maybe the payoff of her becoming champion does come at a later date. But that's all. It's all TBD. We'll see. Depends on how they book her from here moving forward. That will say a lot about what they still think of her and her potential as a future main eventer.
Mm-hmm.
Her going after the U.S. title is a great idea. Actually, that's the show she's on, right? Or...
SmackDown, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
If you're gonna bump her out of the world title picture, I think that's a good idea for her.
Yeah, and I mean, Julia's gonna need some, bigger name opponents to face whenever she wraps her business up with Zelina Vega. She's gonna need to move on to more higher profile names, and Jade Cargill would fit that bill. But then they have to make the decision: does Jade Cargill take another L, or does she take the title off Julia?
Yeah, that's true.
Lot to juggle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, next match that Doyle was looking forward to the most all weekend. Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul facing the team of Randy Orton and the Rolls of Jelly in a 17-minute tag team match that, at the very least, was entertaining. And I mean, with this type of match, especially when you have celebrity involvement who are clearly not actual wrestlers, the most you can hope for in the match is that it's entertaining, that you get good entertainment value. And in that regard, I think the match delivered. I do think it delivered in the entertainment department. All 3 of those guys worked their butts off to make Jelly Roll look as competent as possible, even though he barely ever moved outside of that Xfinity logo in the middle of the ring. Everybody
he had the world's slowest sidewalk slam, or whatever he did to Drew. It was the slowest I've ever seen.
Yeah, and honestly, not as clean as the one he did on SmackDown. So, I mean, he's done a cleaner one, but he also probably had much more air in his lungs at that when he did the one on SmackDown versus trying to do it at the end of a match here where he was probably gassed all to hell. And props to him for taking that fucking table spot from Logan Paul. Even if he did lay up there for an ungodly amount of time, And at some point, it just looked like he was just literally sitting there looking at Logan Paul like, "You gonna jump, man?"
Yeah, and Cole's going, he's out cold. He just adjusted himself on the like he's obviously not.
Right. He's out cold as he shifts position.
Cole had a couple of those this weekend. It was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? I think in the Punk match, he said something like, "Yeah," he said another Punk is out, and it was like Punk was standing up in the process of standing. Like, obviously he isn't. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Sometimes I guess when you're calling that, you're already a little bit ahead of yourself, and your brain has already sent the message to the mouth, and the mouth starts saying it, and then something else is happening in the ring. It's like, oh shit, well. But yeah, he did have a couple of botches throughout the weekend, as far as Michael Cole himself.
Yeah, he had a rough weekend.
But this match did see Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre win when it was Jelly Roll took the pin too, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. How rare is that? Like the celebrity loses and takes the pin.
Well, you know what?
Well, I mean, a celebrity should lose 95% of the time.
Right. and I actually appreciate that from Jelly Roll, the fact that he was like, no, I'll take the pin because, you know, even if the whole storyline is me standing up to Logan Paul, at the end of the day, they're right. I'm just a celebrity. I ain't got no business being in here.
Right.
So, yeah, I should be the one to lose the match. So props to him. Again, props to him for at least having that understanding and not being, you know, so full of himself or arrogant enough to think that he should not be the one to take the pin.
Mm-hmm.
Props to him for having that level of humility. Hop in, Wayne. What do you think on this match?
Whew, man. Definitely interesting. Definitely an interesting... Jelly Roll did more than I thought he was going to do. He took a lot more spots. I was actually pretty damn impressed with the table spot, man. Like, he actually went through the table. I was pretty impressed. Like, for celebrity to take as many bumps as he did, you know, and then I think the first half of the match they had him basically like away from Orton, taking a lot of, like you said, didn't leave the Xfinity logo very much in the beginning. They kept him grounded right in the center. Oh yeah, the fans hated Logan Paul. We got like "fuck you, Logan" chants, which I thought was great. You know, everybody played their part pretty well for this. You know, we got the "holy shit" chant when it was justified. I think it was funny when we had all the medical people come out and try to help Jelly Roll out. It was like 6 people trying to carry him out, and he's doing the whole crying thing, and you know, Orange trying to make the tag. And there was a point where they panned back to Logan Paul, and me and listener Dwayne were watching, and Logan Paul just makes this face, like the face of going like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy kind of face. And I was just fucking dying. You know, and I'm also talking about like when I see, you know, I'm at that point now where like when I see, you know, in that ring, like there was only one celebrity there, and there was 3 WWE superstars in that ring. Like Logan Paul, I see in my eyes now, you know, as time went by, he's just a WWE superstar. I don't find him as this internet dude, this YouTube guy anymore. Like, I look at him with a little bit more respect, you know? More and more, every one of his matches, the caliber, his matches, who he's going with, you know, and just...
He was U.S. champion, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's just... I mean, there's not many guys who can just come into this business and do what they do and pick it all up. And, like, you know, Logan Paul just... He does. He's decent on the mic, right? I'd say he's pretty decent on the mic. I don't roll my eyes whenever Logan Paul gets the mic. He plays his character well, and he's naturally a fucking heel, so people hate him. It works great in his favor in this business. He's athletic. He he has a gimmick. I like his music. I think the moves that he does is pretty damn shocking. Like, you always know when Logan Paul is in a match, there's something good off of a high spot's gonna happen, and Logan and Jelly Roll were willing to put their bodies on the line for a holy shit chant. I was all for it. It wasn't Orton and Drew McIntyre that did that spot. It was a singer and a YouTuber, I guess. But like I said, at the end of the day, I don't look at him like that no more. Like, this guy's a WWE superstar. Respect where it's given. But yeah, I mean, Jelly Roll got huge response. The crowd loved him. I mean, even when he was getting up from his table spot, you could hear the crowd, even though he was off camera, just cheering for him. I also assume this isn't the last time we see Jelly Roll. I'm sure he'll be back again. So, but yep, that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I think Logan has long since earned the respect of fans as a wrestler. I think we've definitely all gotten to that point. Mm-hmm. But he's still an internet douchebag. He's still an internet douchebag.
I mean, when they brought him in, I think they thought, oh, this guy's got, however many million followers. They're going to love him. I think they expected him to be this huge baby face, and then when he wasn't, it took them a while to adjust to that or figure that out or whatever, roll with it. I think definitely he's a.
No, I think Logan Paul is very self-aware. I think he was very self-aware. Yes, he does have he has a massive following on YouTube, but I think he's very much aware of how polarizing he is and how controversial he has been in the past. So I think at the very least he was very self-aware that coming into WWE, people probably were more likely to boo him than cheer him. I don't think Logan Paul came in thinking, oh, these guys are going to love me. I think he came in very much aware of the fact that chances are fans were going to boo him. Mm-hmm. And to touching back on the whole Karrion Kross thing, this is where Logan Paul works and Karrion Kross is not working, because Logan Paul, what he's doing is basically an extension of himself turned up. And that's why he works so well as a heel, because that's kind of what he's made his internet fame on, was being an internet troll and heel. He just brought it to WWE and turned the dial up to 10. And that's why it works for him. And it seems so natural, and he's so damn good at it, to go with his athleticism and his natural talent to pick up, the art of wrestling. So yeah, for him, it all works. And it all goes together.
Well, I think you just said he looks the part, so he brings an air of believability that say, Jelly Roll doesn't,
right.
Jelly Roll doesn't look like a professional wrestler. Maybe in the 80s, maybe when the Bastion Boogers and the earthquakes and the tugboats were roaming the Kansas. But I have made no secret about the fact that I cannot fucking stand Jelly Roll. But credit where credit's due. He didn't look. I wasn't expecting Luthez out there or anything, but I don't think he embarrassed himself. Which I would hope. I don't know how much humility he has to be embarrassed, walking around with you look like somebody drew on your face and you passed out with your shoes on at a party. I don't know how much ability he has to be embarrassed, but I don't think he embarrassed himself. So credit where credit is due. He at least held his own a little bit out there. It was a fun, entertaining match. It's kind of a palate cleanser kind of match. This is also the match that, the whole weekend, just the match order seems so bizarre to me, and we'll talk more about this when we do night 2. just a weapons fatigue. And night two, this is the kind of like palate cleanser kind of match. I think you stick in between a street fight and a no DQ match to kind of break it up a little bit. I question why this match, was on night one and away from all these other car crash matches, where I think this would have been a really good change of pace kind of match on night two as opposed to night one. But that's kind of neither here nor there. Yeah, I mean, it was a match that happened. It was fine. It was fun. This was kind of your comedy match, maybe, if you will. So yeah, for what it was fine. Yeah, I don't think we've seen the last of Jelly Roll, unfortunately, or fortunately. But man, I want Drew to get up into the world title hunt again. He's been doing such fucking great work for so long, and I think it's time he gets rewarded.
Yep. No disagreement there at all. Any other final thoughts on this match before we move on to the main event?
Nope.
The main event.
All right, I'll take that as a no. So moving on, final match of the night. Well, main event of the night.
Yeah.
CM Punk challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And a match that went on for quite some time. Longest match of the night at just over 30 minutes. And it was a good match. I don't know that this match was enough to save night one overall. I think we kind of talked about it in the Discord, how this night was pretty daggone lackluster in terms of the overall sense of night one. But this match, along with the opening match with Roman and Jay and Braun and Bronson, were clearly the two best matches of the night. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this match, I'd probably give this match the edge as far as being the match of the night because it was a bang-over match. Like, they went back and forth. They were beating the snot out of each other. Gunther was chopping the dog shit out of CM Punk. Punk was taking it and giving it just as well. We even got some blood in this daggone match. And some deserved blood, some warranted blood. For as hard as they were going at each other, somebody had to get some color at some point. And for it to be Gunther, kind of a bit of a surprise. Although apparently there were, non or outside of the ring reasons for it, but that's neither here nor there. Within the match itself, it worked. It helped elevate the match. It wasn't gratuitous. It wasn't unnecessary. And ultimately, when it all came down to it, CM Punk won. I don't think I picked CM Punk to win. I think I picked Gunther to retain.
I
did you
pick Gunther?
Yeah.
You picked Gunther too, right, Doyle?
I picked Gunther, yeah.
Yeah. Wayne, did you pick Punk to win?
I think I picked Punk to win.
I thought so. I thought one of us picked Punk to win.
Yeah, I just felt like this was it, man. Like, this was it. He was going to get his flowers finally from busting his ass for so fucking long and, coming back to the company and stuff. But at the same time, I kind of knew, man. I kind of knew what was going to happen afterwards. I've been talking about this ever since he won the briefcase. How I've been just talking about it since then, man. How great would it be if he cashed in and took that from the one person he would, want to take that from? Not only is he winning that world title, he's taking it from the one person he probably hates most on that roster, per storyline.
Well, I hadn't brought it up yet, but he's talking about Seth Rollins after this match cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase on CM Punk and taking the title from Punk.
Mm-hmm. But, sorry. I had Punk winning this because I just thought I didn't suspect the absolute finish at the end, but yeah, Punk winning the gold was my prediction, but I don't think any of us predicted what would happen after that.
Well, I don't know if any of us thought that they'd actually go through with.
Yeah, go hop in.
Yeah, I
there.
don't know if any of us.
What are your thoughts on the match first?
The match first.
Go ahead, Doyle.
This is as good a performance as Punk has given since he's been back, I thought. And yeah, like you said, Dre, I don't generally have a problem with blood. You don't need to see it every match. But when it makes sense, it makes sense. And when the bully finally gets his nose busted and sees his own blood for the first time, it kind of panics. That makes sense. So I didn't have a problem with it. Do we know if his injury is legit or not? Or is he just being written off TV for a couple weeks?
He does have a legitimate injury that is going to require some surgery, but I think it's something related to his nose that he's getting surgery on, and so he's going to be out for.
Raw they said orbital, I think.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Which is like your eye socket.
Yeah, that's what they said on Raw because, the blood that he's sustained, the injury he's sustained, quote unquote, the kayfabe injury he sustained in the match, obviously the blood wasn't coming from his nose. It was coming from his forehead and face area. So to make it make sense on television, they had to say something orbital related. But I think the actual injury is something related to his nose that he's going to have surgery on. That's going to put him out for a couple of weeks. And they used this match and that the blood and all that as a way to write him off television.
Interesting. Okay, good. Because I was going to say, I hope they're not running yet another fake injury angle. Because, I don't know. We discussed the possibility of Rollins cashing in, but I don't think any of us thought he was going to, because I think we all believed he was actually injured. But it's just the problem with this I have is because we just saw this actually happen with Zoe Stark, right? Where she blows her knee out, they stop the match, they carry her to the back, and then the next time that happens, everyone's going to go, nah, that's it's just a part of the story. No one's going to believe it. I just think it's kind of it's one thing to say that the Four Horsemen jumped Dusty Rhodes at the gas station and broke his leg. That's one thing. But stop a match and it's just kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Although I must admit, I do appreciate the commitment to kayfabe, where he's running around with the kid on his crutches and stuff. I know some of that was pretty good, but I kind of have a problem with the fake injury thing. Just the way they did it. I thought we could have done something similar, but without. Because I just feel like it's the next time somebody gets hurt, no one's going to believe it, And I just feel that's kind of a disservice to whoever it is, and there will be someone to get seriously hurt in the ring next time.
Yeah, that's a valid point, and so the point that you brought up, Wayne, about storyline perspective, it made sense, and we had all talked about it for a while now that the possibility of Punk winning the title at SummerSlam, Seth Rollins cashing in and immediately stealing it from him. I'm pretty sure. I think I may have pitched that exact scenario at some point earlier this year, or one of us in this probably pitched that exact scenario as it played out here. Well, not to the T, because obviously the injury wasn't a factor, but we had all kind of predicted. I think a lot of people a lot of fans had predicted the prospect of CM Punk winning the title and Seth Rollins immediately cashing in on him and taking it away and ruining that moment. That's a scenario that everybody kind of saw coming a mile away. And yeah, they may have thrown some people off with the injury, the Seth Rollins injury, which was, I guess, was probably a clear attempt to throw people off the trail of the very obvious scenario that everybody saw coming a mile away. So when it still wound up happening despite the injury, at least for me, it didn't quite hit the same. Because it's like, oh, Seth Rollins' music hits. Okay. He comes out. He's crutches. Okay. He's like, I'll count my eye on you. Okay, so he's just making a threat. Oh, he's taking the knee off. Oh, so they're doing exactly what I thought they were going to do. And that was pretty much my thought process as it was playing out. Because I'm watching it. Oh, they're doing the thing that I said that they were going to do a long time ago. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Seth Rollins is champion. To me, it didn't really hit the way it could have had they not played up the injury angle, or had they gone some different route to try to throw us off the trail. You know, maybe if they had just kept Seth Rollins clean and gave him an actual match here at SummerSlam with somebody, and they could have played up the injury during the match itself, there would have been less time for people to speculate or try to see through it. And props to Seth for doing everything he could to commit to it, because as he said, once he was in those crutches, he did that for the whole month. He talked about how, he even started to become a little irritable about it. He was a little worried about his shoulder getting injured from doing it, from walking around in these crutches so much. I think he said him and Becky went out to dinner with Bianca Belair and Montez Ford one night, and he was in the crutches. Like, he was fully committed to it, so props to him for that. But they probably could have done it in a better way that could have maybe elicited a more genuine surprise.
Right.
Because, for me, it didn't really hit. Anybody else have any thoughts about the cash-in or how it was executed or anything?
I mean, like, the match and the cash-in, like, this extremely long match, and given reason, why to get, Punk gassed, for the cash-in. Between the oh my god, dude, like the chest slaps, holy shit. I mean, Gunther beat his ass. Also, I like Punk's gear, the Fantastic Four. It was modeled after, which I thought was pretty cool. Good timing, good color.
Consistency still's been Grimm's saying.
Yeah. I mean, like, overall, I did like the match. There was multiple times, though, during this match that Gunther and Punk just weren't on the same page with a certain move. I mean, they just looked confused. There was a few times that happened. I was like, oh, God, like, is it because it's such a long, drawn-out match is the reason why they had such an issue trying to remember all these spots? Or, I don't know.
The casualty of the house circuit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
being able to have those tune-up matches before you go in front of the cameras.
Right. After this match, I guess we were all thinking the same thing. We're like, looking at the time. The time is the dead giveaway sometimes with these PLEs. Or even, Raw or SmackDown, when stuff like this happens, you're just like, oh, we still got some time left. Like, something's going to happen. And, me and Dwayne are just like, all right, we're happy. Punk's won the title. He's crying. It's emotional. Like, I'm happy. And I'm just like, in the back of my head, I'm like, but I know this could be taken away from me. I'm just waiting for it. And then, out of nowhere, burn it down! I love having that. Dude, just just perfect, man. Just burn it down. The crowd went nuts. What's up?
Speaking of time, Phil has like 4 or 5 minutes to get the fuck out of there, and he doesn't. He just sits there like a fucking dope and waits for Seth to come down and bash his brains in and take the belt off from him.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of there, you idiot.
Yeah.
The moment you see him drop the cane,
get
drop
the
the
fuck
cane
out of there before that.
He's not injured. Bye.
Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
that's not what baby faces do. Baby faces don't run away from the fight.
I would have gotten
they
out of there.
They stand there and either fight them off or get their ass kicked.
And ran to the crowd. That's what I would have done. Screw that.
Props to Seth, though, for successfully handing the briefcase to somebody else. Because it's always like, hold it. He's boom, here you go. Ring the bell. One, two, three. Apparently, Becky and Seth's kid told the kid's teacher that he was faking it. It's just been something like that. Daddy's pretending to have a boo boo, and they had to go to the teacher and be like, "Okay, you can't tell anybody else." Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now,
that's
maybe
funny.
what they could have done to try to alleviate that whole, time gap between Seth's reveal and him coming down to the ring and Punk just standing there watching it happen the whole time. Maybe Seth should have come to the ring in the crutches and stood there in front of Punk and, reminding him, hey, I've got this briefcase. I'll be coming for you at some point, talk some shit or whatever. And then in comes Braun and Bronson from behind, and they put the beat down on him. Just whooping his ass after the match. Just a little bit, nothing over top, but they start stomping him out. And then they hold up Punk. And he's looking at Seth. And that's when Seth drops the canes, takes off the brace, takes his shirt off, and then hands his briefcase to him when Punk's already beat down and just looking up and like, oh shit.
Dude, it was pretty cool.
That could have been maybe a better way to execute it, just thinking off the top of my head.
Speaking of Breaker, he looks pretty banged up there after this match. He looked all right by Monday, but when he came out after Seth had won, his leg was all taped up and he had a pretty bad limp. But he looked all right Monday, so I guess he's okay.
I don't know. Monday, I noticed two things. One, he clearly had some sort of knee brace underneath his pants. And two, he seemed to stay to the rope. Like when Seth was in the ring cutting that promo, Bronson was pretty much always in the middle of the ring or not too far away from Seth. Braun kind of stayed a little bit more to the side, like closer to the ropes. Like,
yeah, but he was getting involved physically with people. Like,
he did get involved physically. Yeah, I'm not saying that he's like, actually injured, but it could be one of these things where it could be a case of bad timing where he really can't afford to go out with the injury right now. So maybe it's some hurt. Yeah. He could be hurt but not injured, and he's working through it and just hoping. Yeah, he's just working through the pain, hoping it'll heal on its own, or hoping he can, rehab his way to getting it better, as opposed to, saying, hey, I need time off, I need to get away to rehab this or get some sort of surgery or have it looked at for possible surgery. Because, yeah, you got to admit, like, right now would be a terrible time for him to go down injury.
Mm-hmm. Any of them.
It was a hell of an ending, though, to the night one. I'll tell you that. Gunther with a busted face. CM Punk winning and losing the world title, and Seth Rollins standing tall. I will say though,
world heavyweight champion.
Could you imagine how tall they would have stood if Bronson and Braun Breaker won their first match? Does it even? I guess Seth winning that world title kind of overshadowed all of that and justified it in the end.
Yeah, they would have looked maybe a little bit more dominant if you'd had, them standing there next to them, knowing that they had defeated Roman and Jay earlier. Sure, but then again, if they did that, suppose they had done that by going the route of them winning by Braun pinning Roman.
Yeah.
Now you've got the image of Seth Rollins, newly crowned World Heavyweight Champion for the second time, standing next to a guy who just got a pin over Roman Reigns. Could be a little bit of conflict of power dynamics there. So I think it worked out. I think it worked out fine, especially considering that they just whooped Roman's fucking ass on Monday again with no Jay to help.
They definitely got the heat back.
Right, they got it right back, and I'm surprised that there was no Jay involved. Is the feud now about to be L.A. Knight, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns taking on the Vision? That doesn't bode well for Jay, because that seems to lead to me to believe that they are going to go, in fact, with the plan of sending him over to SmackDown to help out Jimmy and Jacob, which is cool for Jimmy and Jacob, but not the best for Jay. Unless they really book him as being the strongest of the three, and he's the hero that makes all the difference. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. We're going to do night number 2 next week, so it gives listeners a nice amount of time to have space, in between 2 episodes. Also, if you guys want to go back and rewatch night 2, then we can be more in depth with it. So that's all I got, though, man, for night 1. Dre, do you want to plug anything?
Right.
No, nothing. As always, Instagram.com/PCW podcast.
Cool. Doyle.
Yep, just in the Discord, and if you want, give the Facebook page a like. It's PCW Podcast Championship Wrestling.
Cool. Yeah, I got nothing, but I guess I'll play this out. Here we go.
Burn it down!
See ya.
You are the world's dumbest son of a bitch.
The fact that day in and day out, for almost 6 years, I have proved to everybody in the world that I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary. Nobody can touch me.
You are not ready for Oscar!
Because the Street Profits are up and we want the smoke. You're next! Talk about your songs, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass. Well, let me tell you something, brother.
New day!
Cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah, Macho Madness here.
Welcome to the Kevin Owens Show. Lately, he just hasn't been very oozy. Because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome. Those rotten bastards.
Bye-bye, bitch.